Hello. Hi guys. So today we will be talking about relationships in DBMS in a database. Now every aspect of a database is made up of relationships. Okay, not relations, relationships. Now if you talk about many people get confused in these two concepts of relations and relationships. They think they are same, but they are not. Relations are these things: course and student. Okay, because in a database, a course and a student, any table is called a relation. Those are interpolable words. Okay, while relationships are these things in between which connect the two relations. Those are relationships. Okay, now with that in mind, let's focus on how a relationship is made and what kind of relationships we have in the database. Now as I said, every aspect of a database is made up of relationships. With only tables or with only relations, there's nothing, no point of a database. There's nothing you're doing. There's no data being passed around, right? So in that way, there are three major kinds of relationships. Okay, one to one, one to many, and many to many. One to one is very simple, very normal. It's like monogamy. Okay, where let's say I have a person. Okay, a person table and a passport table. Unless you are a spy or let's say a shady person, you will always have one passport. Any person will always have one passport, right? Belonging to their country, obviously, right? And that's how it will work. Unless when there is only one row from a table connected to one row from another table, that is called a one to one relationship. Now, this could be in many different places, right? This could be in many different places. For example, if I for hypothetically, if I made this thing, let's say there's a child. Okay, and I, rather than one table for parent, I make two tables, one for dad and one for mom. Okay, so it will be one to one. Oh wait, this will be one to many actually, because a mom can have many children. But in that sense, let's say assume it that there's only one child. We are living in China or something. Let's assume that. Okay, there's only one child possible. Then it's only one to one relation, right? And that's how it works. In this way, now how it is mapped, that is important. Now we know that dad and mom are strong entities, and here the person is the strong entity. That means the ID of the person or the mom and dad will go into the child table, and the person will go into passport. And this because these are strong entities, and this is the weak entity over here in this case. Okay. Now talking about one to many, as I said over here, let's say there's a there's a table for dads. Okay, then and there's a child or children, right? We have a one to many relation over here. Like let's say there's a customer, and they go into a restaurant and they do orders, so one customer can do many orders, right? That is the way this relationship works. Any place where one record of a table, one row of a table is involved with many rows of the other table, one to many rows, it could be one to many or zero to many also. Okay, of the table, then it's called a one to many relation. In this thing, it is very obvious that the one would be the strong entity always, and this ID will go into the weak entity, and they will be defined by that. Okay, one to many, again, many to many, again, very simple, not much to do there at all. Let's talk about this thing. Okay, one student could have many courses, and many courses, one course, let's say called maths or science or anything, could be learned by or to be taken by many students. Then we create a weak relation. As we might have seen in the strong and weak entities video, we create a weak relation. Okay, could be anything. You can name it like takes or is added to, or whatever you want. right? So in this place, you know that these are two are strong entities, and this will be the weak entity, and their IDs will go over here to make a many-to-many relation. Now a many-to-many relation over here is represented always a many part. If you don't want to do cardinality, it will always be represented with this kind of symbol, which is called a crow's foot symbol. So in a many to many, in a one to many thing, it will always be, let's say, customer order. Okay. Now here, if you want to show just a many to many relation, you can show something like this, student course. But if you want to show the whole idea, it will be actually something like this, and the relation in between. These three are the major relationships, not major, but only the actual relationships in any table, in any database system. They will be used to create all sorts of databases, all sorts of designs. But these alone are not enough, obviously. When you make a database, you need to understand the normalization of it. Okay, you need to understand the relationships. Okay, which relationship is important, which is not, so strong and weak entities, right? You need to understand cardinalities. You need to understand redundancy, which comes into normalization only. Through these things, you can create a fantastic database. You can create very good designs of databases, very, not, let's say, good, but meaningful designs of the databases. With that in mind, the next video will talk about cardinality, and then we will go into the database design. And thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Let us work together into designing good databases. So because these concepts will always come into your life, in a code life, in a life or IT industry, you cannot let go of these ideas at all. So let me know if you have any doubts. Let me know if you want me to cover anything different, anything new, or anything you want me to see into, look into. So we can both, and we can all understand together the concepts that are hard to understand. That was the video, guys. Thank you for your time.